2. Combine Scrum and UX, the ideal solo game developer approach. 2.1. The Agile Development Process. The Agile development process, based on Scrum, involves breaking down the overall game project into smaller, manageable parts called sprints. Each sprint typically lasts for a week or two, during which clear goals and milestones are defined. This iterative approach allows developers to focus on specific tasks and make continuous progress. Agile development is an effective and flexible methodology for individual game developers. By dividing complex projects into manageable parts and working on them gradually, productivity is increased, and the project can be completed successfully. During each sprint, the solo game developer concentrates on concrete tasks, focusing on achieving the sprint-specific goals. This promotes efficiency and enables faster results. The rapid iterations during a sprint allow developers to see early results and make necessary adjustments. Continuous improvement is achieved by incorporating feedback and insights from each sprint, leading to an enhanced game experience. Another crucial aspect of Agile development is collaborating with the team, seeking feedback from external testers or players to improve game quality and usability. This continuous involvement ensures a stronger focus on the needs and preferences of the players throughout the development process. 1. The Agile Development Process. The Agile development process, based on Scrum, breaks down the overall project into smaller, easier-to-manage parts. Instead of designing the entire game at once, you divide it into several iterations, called sprints. These sprints can be, for example, last a week or 2 weeks. You define clear goals and milestones for every one sprint to make continuous progress. 2. The application of sprints to solo game development. As a solo developer, you can use sprints to focus on specific aspects of your game and not let yourself be overwhelmed by too many tasks at once. You could choose one sprint for the level design, another for the graphics and animations, and use another one for the game mechanics. By using the divide development into small steps, you keep the focus on the essentials and avoid getting lost in details. 3. The continuous improvement of UX. User experience is a critical aspect of any game, as it directly affects the satisfaction of the game player influenced. As an individual developer, you can ensure the continuous improvement of the UX by providing regular feedback from testers or potential player sketches up. Use these insights to continuously optimize the gaming experience. Also note that the UX isn't just limited to the user interface, but also includes the game mechanics, balancing, and learning curve. 4. Setting, definition of done, similar to Scrum, where the definition of done provides clear criteria for completed tasks. As a solo developer, you should also create your own definition of done for create your game. This means that you set certain standards that must be met before you consider one aspect of your game to be finished, and move on to the next you pass over. This allows you to have a clear overview of the progress of your project and ensure that every aspect is carefully developed. 5. Effective time management. As a solo game developer, time management is crucial. Use time-boxing techniques to make sure you have enough time to develop the UX design and test your game. Prioritize tasks and work on the focus on the most important aspects of your game first to ensure that you get the essentials do it first. Time is a limited commodity, so make sure you use it efficiently to successfully complete your project. 2.2. The application of sprints on the solo game development. Step 1. Minimal Viable Product (MVP). Identify the essential elements of your game that are necessary for a basic player experience. Focus on what is absolutely necessary to create a functional game. For example, you could create a simple level, a player character, and basic controls. As a solo game developer, it is important to strategically plan your development process. The first step is to transform the concept of your game into a minimal viable product (MVP). An MVP is a basic version of your game that embodies the core features and main objective of the game. It is the simplest form of your game that already provides a playable player experience. When defining the MVP, you must carefully consider which features and elements are essential for the core player experience. Focus on the essentials to create a playable version of your game as quickly as possible. Here are some important steps to consider when creating the MVP. A. Define the core concept. Clearly define the main concept and objectives of your game. Consider what makes your game unique and appealing. Stick to a clear and specific concept to maintain focus. B. Identify key elements. Determine the key elements and functionalities that are essential for the player experience. Consider which mechanics and features your game must include to function as a playable version. C. Define the scope. Set clear boundaries for the scope of your MVP. It is tempting to add many ideas and features, but stick to the essentials to avoid slowing down the development process. Prioritize the most important elements and keep the rest in mind for future iterations. D. Implementation of the MVP. Start implementing your MVP. Use existing resources and assets to accelerate the development process. It's okay to use placeholder graphics or simple animations temporarily, as long as the core player experience is ensured. E. Testing and gathering feedback. Once the MVP is created, extensively test it and gather feedback from testers or potential players. Ensure that the player experience is stable and functional. Collect information about what works well and what can be improved. F. Iterative improvements. Base your next development steps on the feedback from the MVP. Implement improvements and adjust the player experience accordingly. This iterative approach allows you to gradually optimize and further develop the game. The MVP forms the foundation of your game and allows you to have a playable version early on. It serves as a guideline and starting point for further iterations, enabling you to effectively consider player feedback and create an ever-improving player experience. By focusing on the essentials and adopting an agile approach, you can save time and make the development process more efficient as a solo game developer. Step 2. Rapid prototypes. Create quick prototypes for different aspects of your game. Try different brainstorm ideas and quickly decide on the most promising approaches. This could mean that you can temporarily create simple placeholder graphics or animations to test the functionality. Step 3. Get feedback. Once you have a working prototype, share it with friends, testers, or the player community. Ask them for honest feedback on the basic game features, the controls, and the overall gameplay experience. Take this feedback into account for the next iteration. Step 4. Iterative improvements. Base your next development steps on feedback and insights the previous step. Improve and refine the elements of your game based on the feedback received. Remember that you focus on the essentials and avoid unnecessary effort. Step 5. Prioritization. Prioritize your game's remaining features and content. Focus on those that have the greatest impact on the gaming experience. This allows you to work and create an improved version of your game in a short time. Step 6. Continuous improvement. Repeat steps 3 through 5 to make continuous improvements to your game to be carried out. Incorporate feedback from each iteration step into the next. Keep the development cycle quickly and iteratively. Step 7. Game polish. Once you have a solid foundation for your game and the feedback is positive, dedicate yourself the game polish. Use high-quality graphics, animations, and sound effects to enhance the gaming experience. Make sure that the game runs smoothly and that there are no bugs or crashes occur. Step 8. Publish. Once you're happy with the result, it's time to release your game. Use platforms like Steam, App Store or other gaming platforms to share your work to make it accessible to the public. The iterative and fast-paced approach allows you to create a playable version in a short period of time of your game and make continuous improvements. The combination of agility and fast development cycles enables you to respond effectively to player feedback and ensure a successful solo game. Create a developer experience.